Atticus, come here. I am so excited for this week's episode. As you can see, we are standing in a beautiful field with the escarpment in a backdrop, and Atticus will tell you a little bit more, but we have a ton to cover in this episode. It is one that's really important to us. It's an industry that matters so much to where we are, and I don't know about you, but I'm gonna get a move on so we can start getting ahead of things and leave you to tell everybody about what we're talking about this week, okay?
Fantastic,
Good luck.
Katie. Neither of us are agriculture experts, and that's why we're super excited to see how different farmers are taking on the climate crisis, because the temperatures are changing and our seasons are becoming a little bit more irregular. So the types of plants that we can be growing and how animals might be at stress to extreme heat, we're gonna see how different farmers are managing that, and it's super exciting. Let's go.
Atticus, come here.
Katie,
Where are we?
I was gonna ask you the same thing. Where are we?
Today we are at the open farm tour, and right now we are at an apple farm to talk to Councillor Ardiel about what farming looks like in this area and how climate change is impacting it and what we can do as local community members to mitigate the risks and challenges.
Yep, we want to hear about how climate change is affecting not only apple agriculture in the area, but any type of agriculture, because farmers feed cities, right?
And we really advocate for buying local because we want to support our community, but
and
also
reduce transportation emissions.
Exactly.
Yep. Come along.
Woo! Whee!
Whee!
It is a challenge this year because of the coldness, and then we didn't get enough rain, and then we got too much heat. So I can't say it's total drought. It's because it got too hot too. So it's all about the environment. And so this year has been one of our trickiest years ever of just trying to produce apples. We're looking at other varieties of apples too that we can get adapting to this early climate, which will produce a couple of weeks earlier than our normal Honeycrisp, so that we can get them to redden up.
So maybe in an effort to reduce food waste then, does the color matter for taste?
It doesn't, no.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. Like if I take one of John's apples, I'm gonna steal one of his apples.
Can I steal an apple?
Yeah, sure, yeah. And you gotta twist it. So I'm just gonna,
John has good apples.
that is a good apple, but because it's green,
People won't be buying it.
they won't be buying it.
Huh.
No, that's a tasty apple.
We've also seen some helicopters going around. So now that's a tricky one because we want to balance climate with apple resilience. But how are you working with this?
We have never used the choppers, and our cousin John here has not used the choppers either. But we have used our frost machines, and we're out there manning them, and we also have our pots, our fire pits.
Right.
Because if we get frost, you will not get a crop.
And it's important to reduce these emissions so that it is easier to grow apples here. We don't have to be using those fans and stuff that consume propane and at the end of the day contribute to greenhouse gases, but it's what you have to do to keep the farm going, right?
Right, thank you. Have a bite of your apple.
What's your favorite apple, Katie?
My favorite apple is ambrosia.
No way, I had no idea.
It has been my favorite apple for a really long time.
That's
and
crazy.
Something that we actually learned today is that color doesn't matter. If an apple is green or if it is red, they likely have the same flavor profile.
Well, what we heard is that it's actually maybe more flavorful to get the one that's green because if you have to wait for it to turn red, you're wasting the energy to make that happen.
Absolutely.
And the flavor decreases. We learned a lot here on the farm today, but the biggest takeaway is maybe don't care too much about the color of the apple and shop local because that is the best way to reduce the transportation emissions.
Absolutely. Anyways, we had a great day.
Yep.
And this is a beautiful apple orchard.
It's
Bye.
great. Katie,
Hey.
how's it going?
It's good. I'm just enjoying my time on this beautiful bridge with a river flowing.
Yeah. So we were just at Ardiel Acres, but where are those apples going?
Those apples are going down the road, not very far, to Spy Cidery, which is where we're about to go to learn about how they're using geothermal energy and closing their supply chain to create really amazing, locally produced cider.
Yep.
Okay, let's go.
Katie, what is that and where are we?
That is something I don't know.
I think it might be an apple delivery because we are at Cider House and Distillery. I read it right here. We're gonna hear about how they're taking apples even from the Ardiel farm that we were just visiting across the county side over there and making sure that their supply chains are local, their transportation emissions are reduced, and their energy emissions are minimized by powering the entire thing by geothermal energy.
Here we go. The first thing you notice when we do pull into SPY is this beautiful building and this field in front. And I've heard through the grapevine that there's geothermal energy that's powering part or all of this facility. Is that true?
Yes, it's something that we're super proud of. The geothermal grid sort of starts where the apple posts are and goes to about 3/4 away down this field. So it's huge.
Okay.
I don't think we'd actually be able to operate this facility without it.
Yeah.
So we're really, really proud of it. It works very efficiently, and yeah, I feel like we're doing something
Good.
good. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's something for people to see and be inspired by, especially a place that's so community centered. I know I've been here on a lot of occasions when it's filled with people and everybody's chatting and having fun, and to know that people get to enjoy a space that's also creating a positive impact, I think is huge and something that more people should know about, really.
Well, thank you.
No,
yeah,
of
I
course.
mean, I think most people coming here enjoying a drink have no idea, but yeah,
That's
yeah, we are
amazing.
proud of it.
We're really excited to get a little bit of a sneak peek into what this production process looks like. If we might hop inside.
Yeah, come on in. This is the tasting room. So
Smells so good in here.
We're closed today, but on weekends, you know, we're really proud of being a bit of a community hub where everyone is welcome to come and enjoy.
Incredible.
Yeah, so this is the tasting room, bottle shop.
That's amazing. And
Yeah.
I'll mention again, all of this is powered by geothermal
That's right.
energy. Oh, wow.
This is the geothermal
I'll
loop.
let us walk right in here. This is the powerhouse.
This is it.
Wow.
And then these tanks are super cool because temperature controlled tanks are controlled by glycol, and ours is run through our geothermal system. Sometimes we press when it's icy out, snowy out. If it happens to be, then we still have to press. So the juice will come in at like 4 degrees, and we'll need to warm it up to put the yeast in, because yeast does not like being that cold.
Okay.
And then when we're done fermenting, we actually cool the tanks down to almost 0 to crash cool them and basically clarify the juice.
Yep.
So yeah, and then when we're storing them and aging them before we package, we need to keep it really cold too. So you're keeping something close to like almost freezing temperatures, like close to 0, which is a lot of energy. And that's all our geothermal. I mean, I've worked other places that uses a lot of energy, and this is a lot less, that's for sure. And like all our heating, our in-floor heating is all geothermal too, so it's pretty cool.
Wow, very circular.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This
Thanks.
was fantastic.
Awesome.
We are here at the Cider House, and we've had a great tour of the distillery, and thank you again for showing us everything that you guys do and inspiring the community to do a little bit more.
Thank you.
Amazing.
What's on the menu, boss?
Perfectly imperfect apples turned into cider using geothermal energy. It has been amazing here at Spy Cidery. We have learned so much, and our biggest takeaway, as always, support local.
Huge. Does it taste good?
Delicious.
That's all you need. Brah. Katie, where are we going?
Well, as you know, throughout this episode, we are scaling down in size to eventually get to what you can do residentially when it comes to agriculture. But our next step is actually to go to Farmacare, which is a regenerative farm just outside of Creemore, and we are so excited to see how they care for their livestock and the benefits that it has on human and ecological health.
Brilliant.
Okay, let's boogie.
So our farm name is Farmacare Regenerative Health and Fitness, and we like to actually call ourselves a holistic health business. And the practice of farming is known as regenerative agriculture, which currently doesn't have a strict definition like an organic standard. There's not a certification to be regenerative, but it's more a set of overarching principles. Some of the core principles are treating the farm as an ecosystem. In the word itself, regenerative, is we're trying to regenerate the cycling of nutrients in our soils and using as little inputs from off our farm as possible and trying to create as little waste streams that leave our farms as possible. Waste products from one of our farming enterprise can become inputs into another enterprise. One of the fundamental principles we use as a guide is maximizing diversity.
Yep.
So we grow perennial pastures here, which means we're growing grass species, clover species, and other forbs. And then we're using our animals to graze those systems. So we do grass-fed beef, which is our big herbivore. and they're moved to a new area every day. So they're leaving their manure behind them, therefore fertilizing the pasture behind them, and also leaving any parasite load behind them. By migrating animals around a pasture, you break up that parasite cycle and prevent them from getting infected. So we don't have to use dewormers. We don't use any antibiotics or medications on our animals. They're all raised by trying to create an environment that promotes their health naturally. We bring our poultry behind our larger animals, but you can see the chickens in front of us here are scratching through the ground. They're looking for bugs, they're eating grasses, and they'll eat the insect larva that breeds within the animal manures as well, which increases the protein content of the chicken's diet from a feed source that it prefers by choice. It improves the health of our birds, it improves the quality of the eggs, and then it keeps the fly populations down on the farm. So it's a great example of a symbiotic relationship between two different species working together to create a better overall environment.
What has been the most rewarding part of regenerative farming to you?
Being able to feel like I'm making a positive impact on the environment, giving the animals a high amount of welfare while they're on our farm, and then feeding them to people in the community. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And our final question for everybody has been, what do you think is the best way for someone in our community to be more involved in climate or sustainability action?
So I don't know if there's a best way for any individual, but the thing, from my perspective, I always say, take whatever action that you personally can. You need to find the thing that you're passionate about and the thing that you feel like you can start today, because just the world is such a big, scary place. It's easy to stay in our shells and in our bubbles.
Yeah, for sure.
So start with whatever step that you can take today. Take that first step, and maybe that'll lead to 10,000 more steps.
In your context of how you guys view sustainability or what you're doing here, what would you like community members to know, or how could community members be more sustainable?
I mean, it sounds a bit cliche, but the support local is huge.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that with shelf space at the LCBO. It's like people don't recognize what's in their own backyard.
Yes.
And when, you're going to the store and buying a Summersby,
Yeah.
the impact, not only on us as a business, but the impact actually on the apple growers and on this industry and on this land is massive. So I think supporting local, it seems so small, but
It makes a big impact.
it makes a huge impact.
So it's not the 100-mile market. I would say you're in a 10-mile market. There's a Meaford Farmers Market, the Collingwood Farmers Market, Grey County, through up in Owen Sound, there's a farmers market up there. There's so many people that are here locally that can supply all the needs that anybody wants. Trying to reduce that footprint is so important.
I feel like I won't die at this speed. Feels like a safe speed.
We're doing agriculture.
Hey, Atticus, where are we?
We're in a lovely place I like to call my backyard.
Lovely. And what are we doing here today?
We're gonna go see how we're changing some of the lawn into a wildflower garden
Okay.
so that the pollinators can be existing, and then also touring a bit of the fruit orchards, cherries, apples, pears,
Wow.
plums, everything we got going on.
Okay, I'm so excited for this tour.
Let's go!
Hey! Now we made it to our first stop. We are in a pollinator garden. Of course, it is now November, so it's not as beautiful as it usually is, but it's just as important.
Yes, we mow it down every year so that the flowers can grow back stronger the next year, but when they are in full bloom, it's really pretty. And not only are there pollinators here, but there's lots of bunnies and little creatures, and it's a lovely place to see in the summer.
Awesome. Where to next?
Let's go see some fruit trees.
Okay, we gotta go.
And here we're turning the 10-mile market into a 10-meter market by posting the fruit trees right in our own backyard. There's more than just apples that you can grow in southern Georgian Bay. We also have plums and pears and all sorts of cherry trees back there and a raspberry bush at some other place.
We really wanted to show you some opportunities that residents can take to be more sustainable and support the natural ecosystem closer to where they live. But we do recognize that this is an opportunity that not everybody has. So we're actually headed down into Thornbury to the community center to check out the community gardens to see how every community member can be involved.
Awesome, let's go check it out.
Woo. There are projects all around, such as the Town of the Blue Mountains Community Garden, which is right here behind us. And this is where you can have your own plot of land, you can plant vegetables, produce, just get an introduction to gardening with other people who are passionate about it and dive further into our community while doing good.
Or support the pollinators. There is these butterfly projects. But through this episode, we've learned a lot of things about new farming techniques, regenerative farming, how some of the biggest apple players are combating and dealing with the climate crisis, and how you can be part of it in your own home. So support local, reduce the transportation emissions of your own food production, try to produce food in your own backyard, and be proud of the farmland that we exist around.
Amazing. We hope you enjoyed the episode. See you later.
Bye.